हेलो गाइस, आज हम बनाने जा रहे हैं एक टू डू मन स्टैक वेब एप्लीकेशन जिसमें हम यूज़ कर रहे होंगे Node.js, Express.js, React.js and for database we will use MongoDB. So let's go through it. So first we type a username, let's say John. For email abcd@gmail.com. For password 123456. Let's sign up. Now we will have a sign in page. So let's log in. abcd@gmail.com and password 123456. Let's sign in. So it's our to-do page. Let's enter a task. I have to complete this web application. Let's add to do. Here it is. You can mark it as a complete, or you can also unmark it, and you can also delete this task, and you can also add more to-dos, and it will remain in your website still after you log out. And we have a logout page, so you will redirect to sign in page. Let's make it. Okay, so come to the let's make a folder. To do web app. Open it with a Visual Studio Code. So we will start from the backend part. Let's create a folder called API. Open terminal. We will install some packages like and first we will be initiate our project by npm init -y. Now we will install some packages npm express npm mongoose nodemon bcrypt.js for authentication and JSON web token. It will take some time. After it will created, we will go to the API page and create a new file called index.js. It's index.js. Now we will include our packages. Now we will go into the package.json file and we will add a line called type equal to module, so we can import our file using import export. So let's go to the index.js page and import some file. Import mongoose from mongoose, import express from express, not this one, yes. We will create an app, const app equal to express, and we will import .env. We have to install two more packages, npm.env for taking care of environment variables and cookie parser. Let's import it on index.js file. And also import cookie parser from. Now let's initiate our app by const app equal to express.js, and at top of this we will initiate our .env, so it will take care of all environment variables by .env.config. Now we need a MongoDB API. So let's go to the MongoDB website, and on the dashboard page, when you will click on the CRUD page, go to the MongoDB and we will select a new project. Page, and it is our dashboard page. We will click on the connect and click on the drivers. We will get this environment variable link. We will copy it, and here we have a password, so replace it with your MongoDB password and copy it. Now come back to our project and create a file in root directory as .env file, and here type mongo.url, all capital. It's a best practice, and paste your MongoDB URL. Here you will replace with whatever you want to name your database. Like I want to name it as todo web, right? Now come back to index.js file, and we will connect our project with MongoDB. So let's code it. We will use a try catch block. If any error occurred, we will console log just error, and for try we will use await mongoose.connect process.env dot mongo URL, which we have mentioned in env file. Okay, and we will also console log to check everything is okay or not. Console.log MongoDB is connected. Now we will listen our app. At the end, by app.listen, at port let's say 8000, and we will give a callback console.log server is connected at port 8000. Let's give a permission our app to use cookie parser and JSON file. So app.use cookie parser, also app.use express.json, and let's run it. So we will go to VLAN and we will run npm. We will add a script in our package.json file, name as dev node mon. You have also installed nodemon index API slash index.js and mark a comma here. Now run our web npm run dev. So now we have index.js. Our server is running in the backend. Let's create some more files in backend. So first one is user router.js model user model, where we implement a user schema. And last one, user controller. Okay, so in user router we will start from here. So come back to user router. Here we will import express press. We will create a router and router will handle this following router.post. It will handle all post requests for sign up, and we will pass a function later on called sign up, which will come from user controller file. Similarly, we will create some more files. Let's say it is for sign in. It will handle by sign in function, sorry. It will create to do. Let's say scene main 14 log delete delete to. Let's copy it, paste it, and for update to and one for logout. It will not be a post function, it will be a get request. So logout and let's export it. Export default router. Okay. Index.js file. So import user router from user router, and we will give a permission to app to use this router by Oh my god. App.use app.use on every API/user request, it will redirect it to user router. Okay, I have misspelled it. Similarly here, and we will also create a router middleware to handle any kind of error. So it will handle all the errors through middlewares. So we will start by typing app.use error request response next. So whenever any error occurs, it will call to next function and here it will go. So we will get a status code, status equal to, we will get it from error dot status code or diff. If we don't get, we will call it 500. We will also get a message error dot message default, something went wrong on backend. Okay, and we will return from our app, return rest dot status code dot json success equal to false, status code and message. Okay, mongoose from mongoose schema. तो अब हम क्रिएट करेंगे स्कीमा. सो यूजर स्कीमा इक्वल टू न्यू mongoose डॉट स्कीमा. और ये होगा एक ऑब्जेक्ट. So first will be our username, which is a type of string and it will be a required. Required true. Required true. Similarly, we will create for email and password. And we will have a tasks which will store all the to-do list for a user. So it will be an array, tasks equal to array. We will create another schema for that. Let's say task schema. Let's create task schema. Task schema new mongoose.schema. It will have a text of type string. and completed. So whether it is completed or not, it will have a type of boolean. And default value for this will be false. Let's format it. Okay, and now we will export it. Const user equal to mongoose.model, and we will pass our schema here, and what will be the name of our database. So it will be a user, and we will pass user schema here, user schema, and let's export it. Export default user. Okay, first one will be error.js. Here we will create all errors. If any error occur, it will go through this and it will create a return to middleware. So here let's say export const error handler. We will pass a status code here and message, and a callback function. Here we will create an error. Const error equal to new error. And all error have a status code. Error dot status code equal to status code, and it also have a message dot message equal to message, and we will return our error. Okay, now we will create our first handler, which will be a sign up. So go to user controller file and import user from user model, and also will need bcrypt.js, which will hash our password, so it will be stored in hashed format so nobody can read it. Import bcrypt from bcrypt.js. Here it is, and we will import our error handler, which we created just now. Import error handler. Okay, so let's create our sign up handler. Export const sign up. It will be a async function. Sorry, my bad. It will take request, response, and next. Let's create it. So whenever we create a sign up, we will pass username, email, and password from our body. So let's extract it. Const username, name, email, and password. from track dot body. Okay, now we have our password, but we don't want to store it in a text format, so we will hash it by let's say const hash password equal to, we will using bcrypt, so bcrypt dot hash sync, and first parameter will be here the password we want to hash, which is the password, and we will give the number 10, which will the number of round it will hash. Okay, so next we will we will we will add it to the MongoDB. So let's create a new user. So const user equal to new user, new user. Here username will be username, email, and password equal to hash password. Okay, hashed password. That's good. Let's format it, and now we will add a try catch block to handle any kind of error. So if any error occur, we will next error, that middleware we created there, here it will handle this error if any error occur. Okay, let's go back to user controller, and in try catch block we will try to store that user, wait user dot save. Okay, and we will return to dash dot status 200 for okay dot json, which is our user. Okay, now let's check it. Now let's check is that working or not. So we will run our app npm run dev. So it is crashed, there is some problem. Let me see this. So now we will check first we will import our sign up here in user router, so it will auto import from here. Now we will run our app. We have imported our sign up function, so let's check it through Insomnia. I am using Insomnia. You can also use Postman. So let me open it and create a new collection. So it will be, let's name it todo. Okay, HTTP request, it will be our post method, and let's say localhost 8000 slash API slash user slash sign up, right? And we will be passing JSON. Okay, so let's say our username will be equal to John, password is will be 123456, and email is equal to, let's say, abcd@gmail.com. Okay, so I missed that double quotes here. Now we will send the request, and let's say what we will get in response. So enter it. Oh, sorry, I missed here the slash. It will be a slash. Now let's post it. I think we are getting some errors. Hello, so let's check it. So make sure you are writing this API user router after express.json. Now let's open this. It's insomnia, and we provide username as John1, email, password, and send request. So we have created our user. So let's now make function for sign in functionality. Okay, so we will go to user controller and export const sign in sync request response and next. Okay, so first we will fetch our email and password from form const password from rec.body and try catch block. In catch we will, if any error occur, we will pass it to the our middleware. And in try block we will first find if email is valid. Okay, if user is not valid, then we will return an error by the help of error handler. By passing in status and a message invalid credentials. But if user was valid, then we will check the password. Okay, so const valid word equal to, we are using bcrypt.js, as you know, bcrypt.compare sync I made a mistake. We will pass our password and the salt valid user dot password dot password. It will match with this by using our salt which we provided in sign up functionality. And now we check if password is right or wrong. Valid password. If it's not valid password, first let's handle this password. We will return an array, return an error. Error handler, an error known as 404 and user not found. Okay, but if password was right and user is also right, Then we will set a cookie in the browser to maintain the session, so we don't need the user credentials when we want to log out or make any changes. So let's set it. So we will use JWT. So first import it. Import JWT from JSON web token, and let's initialize it as dot cookie dot cookie. We will set it as a access token, and we will pass a token and setting HTTP only, equal to true dot status equal to 200 dot JSON or valid user, or we can pass anything. Let's say sign up. No, we will pass our user, valid user. Okay, now we have to initialize this token by compose token equal to jwt.sign, we will pass our ID as valid user dot ID, and we need a JWT secret which will be done in is this. Let's say JWT secret equal to, and type anything. It will be used against your cookies, so it will be in hidden format. So let's go back to the controller, and here process.env s.env dot jwt secret. Okay, let's format it. If that name is correct, make sure. Okay, it's right. Its sign-in functionality is completed. So let's try to log in. So let's copy email and password. We need it in sign-in functionality, and we will duplicate it. Sign in, and we will change it. Okay, and we only need here email and password. So, and it will be a post request. We didn't set the router for that, so let's uncommented and import from sign in. Okay, so let's try. So just send a request, and here we go. We have got our credentials, and you will also check in manage cookies. We will get access token here, and it will remain in the browser, and you can get your user identity anytime. Okay, so now we have to write function for create to do, read to do, update to do, and log out. So we will do that. Now we need to create a verify user middleware. So whenever any user try to perform some operation like delete to do, create to do, we don't need to verify from the front end. So we will create a function named as verify user, and we will pass through all the routes, and it will verify that is that user authenticated or not. If user is not authenticated, then we will return an error. Otherwise, we will pass it to the next user controller. Okay, so let's create a verify user functional, and here we will import our error handler. Okay, and JWT, it will take cookies to verify the user. Export const verify token, request response, and next. Now we'll create one. Now we'll fetch our token from the front end. If token is valid, if token is present, if token is not present, sorry, then we will return an error named as 404, which means user not found. We can write as you are not authorized to perform the operation. Okay, and if token is present, then we will verify token with our user. Dot verify token to our JWT secret. Okay, dot secret, and it will pass a if we and we will take a callback which will result error or user. If any error occur, then we will return an error. Otherwise, we will set our user to the founded error to found user. Okay, so if error, return next error handler 403 forbidden. Otherwise, we will set our user equal to user, which we are getting by verifying, and we will call the next function from here. Okay, so let's format it, and here we go, it's done. Okay, now we can import it in our user router. Import verify user verify token, sorry, and we can pass it in create to do as middleware verify token. So whenever we call the create to do, then it first verify the user. Then if user is authenticated, then it will call the create to do function, which will become from user controller. Okay, so let's implement it in user controller. Export const create to do async request response and next. Okay, user id, const user id from React.user, which we have set in verify token, React.user.id. Okay, and we will get a text which will be our to do from body. So let's destructure it. Const text equal to React.body. Okay, so first we find our user. Const user equal to user dot find by id, and we will pass our id here, user id name. Okay, so if user is not present, okay, we will return an error, and it should be a wait function because it may take some time. We will return an error, return next error handler 404 or 400. No user exists. Actually, the suggestion was coming from the black box. You can also download it. Okay, and but if user found, and we also have to check if text is not empty. Okay, so if text is empty, then we will also return error. Next error handler, next error handler 404, text not found. It should be in a string. Okay, so double quote it. Now everything is correct, so we will push our text into to-do list of our user. So user dot tasks dot push, it is object, so we will pass our text. Okay, now we will wait to save our user. Await user dot save. Okay, so if everything goes right, then we will send back as dot status dot json data. Okay, okay, so let's check it in Insomnia. So suppose we create to-do list, create to-do, and we will change it, create to-do, and now we have to pass a text which will have string, and I want to do DSA, and let's pass it user. Okay, now we can check it in Insomnia. So we have created a route API user create to do, and we passed a text I want to do DSA. Let's check it. So here we got our first to do's. Actually, I have already created one, so it is was earlier, and this one is right. And here we completed as false. Now we will make a route for update to do. Okay, so user can mark as completed or unmark it. So let's create back in user controller. We will write a function for update to do, const update to do equal to async request response next. Okay. So first we will get our user ID like above I did, user ID. Okay. So React.user.id. And if we want to update, then we need we require a ID of the to do, which is this. You can see this is the ID of the to do which we want to delete. Okay, so we will pass it through our body and we fetch it in this by const to do ID which we want to delete, rack.body. Okay, now we will first find our user. So const user equal to await user dot find by id, user id. Okay, if user is not present, then we will return an error. Error handler 404 for user not found, and everything goes wrong, right? Then we will update our to do. So const updated task equal to user dot tasks dot map user dot tasks dot map. We will map all the user and where we got our to do list which have id as same as to do id, then we will delete it. Okay, so map dot, we will find a callback function here, task equal to if task dot id is equal to do id, it will be underscore id because it is in this form. Okay, so if task dot id equal to do id, then we toggle it, task dot completed equal to whatever the previous value, and we will oppose it, task dot completed. Okay, created task, and then else we will return task. Okay, so const tasks equal to updated task, sorry, now user dot tasks equal to updated task, and then save it, await user dot save. Okay, now we will return s dot status 200 dot json. We will pass our user, okay, and it should all be in try catch block, okay. If any error occurs, we will return it through next middleware. Okay. It will be in export function, export const update to do. Everything is right. Now add it in our middleware, create to do verify token. It's perfect. Update to do, and we will also pass here verify token. And let's check it. So here you can see that its task completed is false. So let's copy its ID and let's create one more request. It will update to do. So whatever is this update to do, and copy again. So here we will pass ID. So what was the ID? In user controller we are getting as to do ID. So we will pass it equal to do ID. Okay, and it is also in our string. So now let's check it. Is everything fine? Yeah, everything looks good. But here we got an error. Let's check it. What is the error? Put in update to do. Okay, we have to import it here. Update to do. Okay, now let's check it in Insomnia. So we have created this route and we have passed our to do ID. So let's send it. Hey, status code is text not found. Oh, we passed it wrong. So we should be in this, and we will pass a to do ID, and we have to pass an ID which we get from here. This is our to do ID, and we want to update this to do ID. Okay, so let's pass it. Look, now if we, it's not sending our old user. So now we have to create a functionality for a create to do. So let's create it. So first export const create to do, and it will be a sync function. So we pass our parameters request, response, and next for error handling, and it will be an arrow function. So first we will get our user ID, const user ID equal to rect.user.id, and we will get our text from body. So const text equal to rect.body. Okay, now we first try to find the user, and if user is present, then we will append our to-do to the tasks. Otherwise we will return an array. Okay, so find the user, const user equal to await user dot find by id. We will pass a user id. Okay, now we check if user is present or not. So if user is not present, then we will return an array, return an error, return next error handler 404 user not found. Okay, now if user is present, then we will append an to do to the user. Okay, so now we can also check if text is present or not. User can also hit the add to do button directly without entering any text, so we have to handle it. If text, so return error, next error handler 400 text not found. Found. If everything goes right, then we will push to the tasks to do our text. Okay, and then we will save it. Await user.save, and we will return it. Okay, test.status 200 .json our user, and it will be in try catch block. And if any error occur, we will next error. That's fine. Let's do it in router. So we have create to do, verify token, and create to do. Let's check it. Suppose this is our create to do. Suppose we have passing text. Let's say I want to do MERN stack. So let's hit it. Here you can see it's appended in the last. I want to do MERN. Okay, so now we have to implement another functions. Let's create function for update to do. So let me copy paste it above again, so it will be most of the same. So update to do, and we want user id. Text, we don't need text, we need a id. Okay, to update the to do id, which will come from record.body. So first we will find user. Okay, if user is fine, then we will try to find our, if user is not present, then we will return an array, otherwise we will now if a user is not present we will return otherwise we will update our user. So const updated task equal to user dot tasks dot map, let's say task, and if task task dot id is equal to do id, then we will toggle the value of completed task dot completed equal to toggle the value task dot completed. Okay, so here we go, and now we will return the task, and we will change user.task to this updated tasks and then save it. So user.tasks equal to updated task and await user.save save. Okay, and everything will went wrong. If everything went right, then we will simply return it. Rest.json user. We also want to add some status. So rest.status 200. So is everything right? So let's check included in user outer update to do. Okay, import it in our update to do. Okay, now check in Insomnia. I made it route update to do. Let's say we want to update which we implemented last time. Let's copy its id and it's completed false. Now we will update it to true. Okay, so let's hit enter. Now you can check this, it's completed becomes true. Okay, so this functionality is working fine. Now let's add another functionality which will be our delete to do. Okay, so go in user controller and copy it again, change its name, delete to do. Okay, here we again need user id, to do id, find Graham, and const updated task. Here we need some change. Here if we just need to change here user dot. Okay, task dot map dot task, if task id dot id is not equal to do id, yes, then user dot task. So here, and this is perfect. This function will do, it will map to the task, and if task id is not equal, then it will return the, if if both are equal, then it will not return this. Okay, so we have completed this functionality also. Let's check it. Suppose we want to delete this one only. Okay, so let's copy it and it will go. This is a route and we will pass our ID. Let's hit it. We got some error. Let me check it. In router we didn't include it. Okay, so app.post delete to do, import it from above, delete to do. Now let's go again and check it. I made a mistake here. We don't map, we will filter our data. So change it to user.target.filter. So it will filter where to-do ID is not equal to this to-do ID passed by the body. Okay, so let's check it again. Hit it. Look, you can see this. I want to complete MERN. It's not there. So we have successfully implemented this function also. So now let's our last function, which is logout functionality. User want to log out, so we will import it from above here. Logout. Okay. Export const logout. This will be a same function. Request, response, and next. In logger function, we just want to remove the cookie from the front end, and this will go. Okay, so we will simply do. So in logger functionality, we will try catch. If any error occur, next error, and we will simply just remove the cookies. Res.clear cookie. Clear cookie. Make sure you are writing it correctly. Okay, then we will pass the name of our cookie, xx token. Okay, after that let's say status 200, and in JSON you are successfully logged out. Okay, so here we go. Let's check it here. So let's check if we implemented its route. So here we go. Let's log out, and we also need to verify token. So if someone wants to log out, then it should already log in. That's common. Okay, so let's go through it. Let's duplicate it. Log out. User. And here we don't need to pass anything. And it will also be a delete request. No, delete request not. It will be a get request. And here we go, log out. Let's check. Here access token is present. After we hit the logout button, it should be removed. Okay, so let's check it. API user logout. User logout successfully. Now you can check. Here we go. We don't have access token. It means user logout successfully. So we have successfully completed our backend part. Now we have to create our first front end part. So let's create. No,